guys, welcome back to Greg and Andy Unleashed. We are back with you guys again, and we're talking today, actually, just wanted to cover a couple of things that we missed last year, and that was the missions trip that Greg went on.
Yeah.
So, talk to us a bit about that, Greg.
Yeah. We were discussing like our goals and things that we've, we're grateful that we achieved, and I've missed out on a pretty big one because I know we've been chatting previously on the podcast quite a bit about the missions trip to PNG that was going to come up, and so I was very blessed to be able to make that happen and to head over and see the Wilson family in PNG, and just see the work that's going on. We're on a remote island, so you don't actually just go to the mainland of PNG. You catch a plane to the capital of Port Moresby, and then you catch a second plane to Alatau, which is a city, I guess you'd call it, on the edge of the mainland. And then we got on Caleb's boat. He bought a boat, and we jump on it, and we go for a 3-hour boat ride to this very remote island. And so,
wow.
It was a very fun trip. It was a lot of fun because we got a very adventurous, and I love adventure. And just great to see all the preparation that we put in to make this mission trip happen. Finally, you get to see the result of all that work, all that preparation, and I think talking about preparation, we were even like promoting this on Greg and Andy, like on our Instagram page.
We did a live when Greg got his head shaved and your dad had his beard shaved and his head shaved as well. Hey.
That was a bit of a controversial one. I can't lie, because people were like, "Can you like raise money like that for missions?" I'm like, mate, why not? We did it. So we raised money and in some interesting ways, and hey, at the end of the day, we got the money raised and we used it for God. So I can't complain. I think that was probably the world's most expensive haircut, mate.
I reckon. What was it, like 10 grand?
Yeah, I think
something like that.
I think up to 13.
Far out. I mean, your dad hadn't shaved his beard for what, however many years?
Honestly,
like 40 years or something?
Yeah, my mum has never seen my dad without a beard, so
that
was crazy. She says like
crazy.
Marrying a new man, so
that
was good. It's a really good way to also just bring the church more involved. I think missions as a whole is really good if you're doing it collectively, not just individually. I think that's what a good thing about church in general is. It's a group of believers that obviously share the same values in Christ, but it's also working together to achieve the goal. And the goal is to win people to the Lord, to share the gospel. And the PNG trip as a whole was we were building a house for Caleb Wilson and his family. But you got to remember, he has a young family, he has young kids, and one big thing for missionaries, especially in remote third world countries, is that they need to feel safe and they need to feel secure. And I think that we were able to just bless him in that way, and because of that, he can now go out into the ministry and really excel. Yeah.
And what was where Caleb is? Is it third world? Like, explain to us like a little bit how what some of the circumstances are that you guys were in, and just like amenities and facilities, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's it like?
So the island we went to previously did have another missionary, Rob Boyd. I think some people might know him that listen to this podcast, and he started a church there. So, but other than that church, it's just the classic the huts that they all build with their straw. They weave the straws, and no electricity. No internet. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. They got the waterfall. There's like a big waterfall that runs down this the whole island, and they use that to obviously wash in and to bathe. And other than that, they eat what they catch. And they have they have a very beautiful place they live, tropical island, and they have reefs all around. So they go out spear fishing and fishing in their kayaks. But it was unreal. They don't have much, but what they do have, they really love to bless. So, they don't have electricity, they didn't have a shower, they didn't have any of these things. But guess what they did? Guess what we did eat, mate? We ate lobster. Lobster on the beach, mate.
It's Greg living that high life,
mate. That real hard missions life, like eating lobster for dinner, mate. Nah, but it was good, man. It was really good. It was such a blessing to see, all the locals show their appreciation, because yeah, through what they had, and that was obviously by fishing for us and getting us food to eat, and yeah, it was unreal.
What was one of the highlights from that trip that you remember, bro?
Oh, bro, there's so many. I think like mission trips in general, like it's just so different to normal traveling, and it's really changed my perspective on travel in general. Like, yeah, mission trips, you're gonna make memories you don't even consider. So like it's the small things like Pete George, if he's listening to this, he'll know what happened. It's his story to share, but put it this way, I wouldn't be touching his phone. If you know, you know. But like just little things like with that scenario of his phone, I'm just gonna say it because people probably don't know. He dropped his phone in the big drop hole toilet. So and he had to get 2 sticks and like get it out. And he said if it wasn't for Lisa, he had to call each day. That phone would still be in there. That wasn't coming out. So that shows you the true love he has. It was good, man. Like just little things like that. Like it's not the big fancy beach house. It's not the going to the touristy like locations. It's the nitty gritty, bro. Like getting amongst the locals and helping people that they can't help themselves, you know, and then seeing like also the power of the gospel go out into these lives. Like when you see people change their lives for God, you see the difference, and that when you see it for yourself, that's when you really understand the power of why I love to do it, and like how it's such a blessing to me. So yeah, man, I definitely encourage anyone watching, please go on a missions trip if you haven't already. Just experience it. Like you don't necessarily have to feel called, I'd say, but I'd say just go experience it, see what it's about, and I reckon you'll definitely take away really good things from it, man.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And like going to a third world as well, you see it's so much different lifestyle than we live here. You know, as you said, you got no running water, no electricity. You know, the toilet where they go is just, well, you know, it's pretty nice for you guys. It's just a big hole, but you know, for everyone else, it's just the side of the road, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it really just opens up your eyes to how much we have here in Australia, and it's crazy. It's like the Bible says, like whoever is given a lot is expected. A lot is expected from them. So we've got the ability, like you said, to then go and actually spend that time with those people, with those missionaries, even if you're not like called to that field. Like you don't think that you're called to Papua New Guinea or Venezuela or Mexico or something like this, but you just can go there and support the missionaries there. So how they get food when they were like there on the island, other than obviously like catching fish and stuff? Like how do they get their food?
So a lot of the locals like meat at all is a delicacy. They don't really eat meat. So everyone that lives on the island will have pretty much your staple is not just to have a house, like a little hut. I say house, I mean a hut. It's not just to have a hut, it's also to have a garden. And a garden is pretty much their food. So they all eat a lot of like yams and potato, like starchy sort of vegetables. There's a whole heap that we tried, and it was all quite nice, to be honest. So they eat a lot of starch, and that's practically just because that's all they really have. They're very big on like fruit, anything that grows pretty much. And then obviously things like fish, if they can catch it, if they have the ability. And then like pork's a delicacy. They'll have that like a few times a year as a ceremony, like as a big deal. So yeah, you definitely walk away going, wow, I gotta, like at the time I was just going like a bit of a weight loss journey, and I was trying to diet out the carnivore diet, and I was trying to explain to this guy on the island, and I don't know why I was trying to explain to him, but I'm trying to explain to him I only eat beef, and he'd only eaten beef once in his life, and he was 35 years old, and I was like, damn. When I realized that, I was like, okay, this is I definitely got to just take a step back and rethink about, it's incredible to think about. Like, it's hard to understand, and it's hard to even relate when it comes to things like that with them, because we don't realize how blessed we really are, man. And I think like for the missionary, he would get his boat, and because obviously he's blessed to have a boat, and he'd be able to go to the Alatau, the mainland, and get food from the shops there, and then he could ship it back. So, but then again, everything's expensive, so he'd be eating a lot of rice, a lot of like tinned tuna or stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So So yeah, like it's it's not all doom and gloom. Like they're honestly the most joyful people you ever meet in your life, and that's I guess another bit of a slap in the face. Like we got to wake up and be like, mate, we have so much, we have no excuse to be not grateful, ungrateful. So and like you said, Andy, that's a great point. You got to use what we have for God's kingdom. So yeah, man, it's a good reminder.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And how do they? Yeah, I know you obviously went to Fiji as well last year with James. And how do like they're both, I suppose, probably where you were in both parts of those countries. They're fairly similar, I suppose, in like how much they have materially. How do they? How do they? React to the gospel? How open are they? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of these, like Fiji, for example, they grew up, like their pastime, they had a lot of Christian roots. So a lot of people say, oh, I go to church, or I believe in God, but you dig a bit deeper and their knowledge is not very good at all. Like they don't actually have much assurance of salvation. That's a big one. So they believe that the only reason they're going to heaven is because their grandparents were Christian and because they go to church. So, it's great to think like, oh, Fiji's a Christian country, but when you actually get like into it and you start talking to the locals, you realize that they have the idea, but they don't actually know Christ, and that's the difference. So, I think that's almost harder to witness to because people think they're okay, but they're not. Whereas PNG, like when I'm sure the missionary first went there, people had no idea, or that they're practicing their witchcraft or whatever, like worship they were doing before, and so obviously it's like a fresh introduction to Christ, and you can see the immediate effect. But in Fiji it was a bit of a cloudy sort of gospel, if that makes sense. So it was like harder to sort of reach, like for them to understand fully. So they're still very open. You'll definitely find that people that have less will be a lot more receptive because obviously the hope you find in God, like he can really help you through those tough times. So it was an interesting. Both countries are completely different, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Like as in where I went in PNG, that is, because it was so remote, bro. So pretty much we were able to raise money to buy him a quad bike, and just recently, like he was. Caleb, the missionary, was thinking so hard for so long, like, how am I even going to get this quad bike on the island? And it took him, I think, 3 hours to get because he had to put it on a boat, which he had to get a big enough boat to be able to carry it. And then, obviously, everyone from the tribe, from the village, so he had to like lift the quad off the sand onto the land, like off the water. So it was a bit of an effort, but that was the first vehicle on that island ever. So yeah, that's sort of shows the difference. Like it is very isolated, very remote. So. That's that puts it into perspective, like of the PNG trip. But yeah, Fiji's a bit more obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that far out. That is so remote. Like wow. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's different over there, man. It was such a good experience.
Yeah. I know that I heard that you got burnt on the way over there.
Yeah. Talking about lobsters, bro. I was a lobster, man. Yeah. I fell asleep, bro, on the front of the boat. It was a 3-hour ride, and the PNG sun is brutal. And one of the PNG boys, Bexon, his name was Bexon. He was on the front of the boat. I'm like, I'm gonna go chat to Bexon, and so I go out in the front. And next thing I know, I'm like, this is pretty comfy, like leaning back, and you got the ocean view, and then. Next thing I know, I was so sunburned, bro. Never been that bad in my life. Yeah. I had 3 weeks the same sunburn, and it went through 3 layers of skin. 3 layers. So I peeled once, got better, then it peeled again, and it peeled 3 times. So must be a new record, mate. I can't lie. So yeah, that was brutal. But it was good, man. Mission trips is definitely something I'm passionate about. What about you, Andy? Have you been on? You've been on a few mission trips, eh?
Yeah. Been a couple. I've been to PNG. Probably not. I mean, I've been remote in PNG, so like, like we've hardly ever seen like white guys before, basically. And then like 7 of us just all walked in, and they just lined up in a row and like shook our hand as we walked into the village. So this was like it's kind of like close-ish to Dakota Trail, like in the middle of nowhere. So you take like the like Land Cruisers as far as you can go until like there's you've already been in the dirt, right? Because they don't really have rocks over there, which is so weird. Where we were, right? There's just not really as many rocks as there is here in Australia, right? You look at a hill here in Australia, and there's heaps of rocks everywhere, spotting like all over the hill. But over there, there's just none.
It's very muddy. Yeah,
exactly. Any time it rains, which it rains all the time,
it's slippery.
It just becomes mud. Yes. So you've already taken the Land Cruisers through the mud for the last like 12 hours.
Yeah,
and then you get to the end of that where there's nothing. It's just trees, right? Then we had apparently it was like a walk over the hill, basically. So,
that's the classic.
We walk over this hill and, you ask them, right? And it's like the classic saying PNG time, but like you ask them, how long till we get there? Oh, not that far, just over this hill. It was 4 hours of walking through a rainforest, then over top of a couple more hills.
Oh my God.
Then from that point, you saw the hill where it was. And I'm like,
dude, that's
man,
silly.
this is crazy. So it was like a 30-kilometer walk on foot, to get to this place. And then to get right up to the village is the top of this like hill where, not really a hill, more like a mountain, where you're basically on like climbing with your hands and feet. So like if you fall off, it's helicopter rescue if you don't die. Basically, so it's like don't slip. But I mean, it was pretty full on. So cool. that was interesting. It was an interesting experience. But definitely one of the things I learned from that is when we started out on that hike. I mean, you've got your backpack on, you got water, like maybe some snacks, and then you're like don't even know where you're gonna sleep, and you're kind of like, oh, this is actually like where you're required to trust God because you might not have water. You might, die. We rock up at one place, right, in the middle of the rainforest, and the nationals there are like, oh yeah, so some guy got chopped up here, a month ago or something. We're like, all right, let's keep moving along then.
Keep it going, mate.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Pretty full on stuff. So, it definitely puts it into perspective of like one, as you said, how much we like live with here in Australia, but then just two, like, you get out there and you just see people that they have such a different life experience than us, and you're just able to tell them about God, and it's just such a big thing, such a needed thing, and you're able to encourage. That's the one big thing I think we undervalue how much you can encourage a missionary by being there, and they go through the same emotional struggles that all of us do here in Australia, right? They obviously, get tired, get lonely, get hungry, all of those types of things, but they've also are living in the middle of nowhere, right? Or in another country where the people don't speak the same language as they do, right?
Yep.
So just being able to be an encouragement to them can really, really like make such a big difference.
100%, bro. I fully agree.
So definitely for anyone that's out like watching or listening, definitely jump on board. Get involved in missions, go on a missions trip if you can. Greg, what are some ways, I know you've done a lot of organising in regards to the trip, and if you could think off the top of your head, what's a good way for someone to be able to get involved in a missions trip? Someone's just sitting there, they're thinking, hey, I go to just a standard church. I'm sure we support some missionaries, but I haven't really heard of missions trips that much. What would your advice be for them?
Well, for PNG, for me, I specifically heard God tell me to help Caleb Wilson. So if you that's the one way. If God tells you to go on a mission trip, you better go on a mission trip. Like, it's worth it. It's just to obey God. Like, there's obviously a reason for it. And so that was definitely very clear to me. And then some of the ways some things unfolded, like it sort of solidified that that calling. Like, I had a thought. Well, I felt God say to me, "Let's hurry this process up. Let's get this work done quickly." And Caleb was sort of a bit hesitant at the time. He didn't really know. I didn't really know him. He didn't really know me that well. I just met him at a missions conference, and when I talked to him, that's when I felt God say, "Help this man." And so, anyways, I was connecting with him online, and I said to him, "Look, I want to help you out." And then I really felt strongly I need to help him soon, like quickly. And he's like to me, "Man, I don't want to move. I want to move my family eventually to this island, like this remote island, but I want to do it in about 3 or 4 years time. Like it's a goal, but it's in the distant future. I was like to him, mate, no worries, but I just really feel like I need to help you somehow now. Like, what can I do in the meantime while you're on the mainland? So I was just chatting to him, and then it sort of just felt like a bit of a dead end. I was like, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? I was like, I feel like I need to do something now, but also feels like he's not on the same page. I don't know what was happening. So it left me in a bit of confusion. Now the thing is, a week goes by, and then I get a call from Caleb, and he goes, "Yeah, this is weird, but I really have a feeling. I feel like it's God. He's telling me it's time to hurry this up and move my family. Let's get into this island like right now." And I said, "That is crazy," because for two reasons. For one, it's like no way like that. God like worked in both of our hearts to have that same thought. But secondly, I was thinking this is crazy, like because. Mate, if you move your whole family and this is not God, then what have I done? You know what I mean? I'm like, I've just sent this guy to a remote island anyways. So thankfully it was God, and he was able to, you know, orchestrate everything and make things happen. Like, we were able to raise a lot of money, and it was just awesome. So anyways, all I have to say is, how can people get involved? If God puts something on your heart, definitely go for it. Just send it. Like, I had no intention of making it as big as it turned out to be. I just wanted to go out there and be a blessing, and then God made things happen. Obviously, it's not just God. Like, you also have to put the effort in yourself, but it's also just like allowing the people that come into your life, like just thinking like maybe that could be of God. Like, if someone's coming and giving you advice, or someone's coming to say, hey, if you want to do this, I can give you this. You know, like, it's you taking these things on board. Not just thinking it's like all on your own. And that's what I was saying about the church. Like, we have to do things together, and we work so much better when we work as a team. And so that was the first trip. The Fiji trip. How did I get involved? Honestly, shout out Dave Sparkton. He was the one that organised the trip. He just said, "I'm going to Fiji. If you want to come." And I just said, "Look, I enjoy missions. I'm just going to come along." So if you just want to check it out and just go for it. You don't have to have a specific calling. Like, I didn't feel called to go that trip. I just wanted to go out and serve and be blessed and be a blessing. So that's what I did. I'd say if you want to just go out and give it a crack, just do it. It's like, you know, I just feel like it's a good principle. Like, if you know something's the right thing to do, just go and do it. It's not like you don't have to think about it too hard. So I definitely recommend everyone just to get involved in a mission trip. You know, if the church isn't doing it, then maybe reach out to a missionary that you know, or reach out to people that you know that do missions. Reach out to us if you'd like. I can definitely put you on to some people if you want to travel to certain countries. It's awesome. You're never gonna feel like you get so much fulfillment. That's the thing that people may not understand until they do it. The amount of fulfillment it brings, but it's awesome, bro.
Yeah, and if you go with a heart to serve,
yes,
it may be difficult, but you're going to be, like you said, you're going to be so blessed from it. And that's the other thing actually I wanted to talk about as well, is you're saying all the money that was raised for the PNG trip and for them over there in PNG, the Wilson family, and you have a part, even if you're not able to go over to, you know, on a missions trip. By giving, you also have a part. I think that's another thing that's very underrated is how they lay up treasure in heaven by witnessing to the souls, people over there. But you also lay up treasure for yourself in heaven by helping support those people that are over there. Yeah. Like we said, by going on a missions trip, encouraging them, giving to them financially, and like even just reaching out to them. Like you said as well, reach out to some missionaries and just check in on them, see how they're going. Yeah. And I think that can be a massive encouragement to them as well.
Yeah, I feel like there's a whole ministry and just encouraging people, man. Like, you don't know how much sometimes people need that, just a text or even just a phone call. So yeah, like, that's exactly it. If God puts someone in your life that, you know, you can encourage, just do it. Like, again, it's the same thing. Like, it's not about, like, you don't have to, like, ask God, should I text someone and say, hey, I hope you're doing well. Like, just do it. Like, get amongst it, and it's awesome to see. It's that's very true, man.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's actually one of my goals this year is every couple of days reach out to someone in full-time Christian ministry, worker. That's so awesome. Either someone like a missionary or a pastor, someone like that that's in full-time Christian service. Because we need to like encourage them, especially if it's like if you think, hey, or God hasn't called me to be a pastor or be a missionary or something like that, well, how can I help support those people that are doing that, right? And then also, I think it also comes back to being a missionary here where we are as well. And obviously, shout out James again for hitting up the door knocking and just reaching out to so many people.
Yeah.
And the Lord's just really blessing that.
It's very true, bro. You got to have a heart for God before you go on a mission trip. Like, it's the whole principle. Like, you got to look after what God's given you already for Him to go bless you and give you more. So it's very true. If you're not enjoying church, or like you're not feeling fulfilled in your own ministries and church or whatever, like you can't expect God to just give you all this fulfillment by going on a mission trip now. Like that's exactly right. You got to be it's just the individual walk with God every day, getting close to God, surrendering your will and your desires for His, and He'll bless you for that. So bro, it's unreal.
It's good, man. It's an exciting thing. It's an exciting topic, and that's one of the big things that we really want to be focused on. I suppose jumping back into it is missions.
I think like a good thing is like any young men are watching, like between, I don't even know what ages, like teenagers to late 20s, anywhere in that age group, like just give it, if you haven't gone, just give it a go on a mission trip. And young women, of course, like ladies as well, because but I'm assuming the majority of people watching are young men. So like get amongst it, and you'll be blessed in ways you wouldn't consider it. So it's definitely something. Also, one more thing, if you want to watch my video, I have a video I made about the trip, and it goes a bit more detail of what happened and a bit more about exactly how it started and how it occurred, and then at the end how we felt afterwards. So. If you're interested in watching that, I think that's on our Good Shepherd Baptist Church page, YouTube page.
It's on YouTube.
Yes, it's on YouTube.
Well, I should be able to just link it then at the end of at the end of this video.
Yes. Yeah.
So then people can go ahead and watch it then.
Yeah. So let's make sure you click on that, check that out, and that hopefully will inspire you to go out there and serve God in that way. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Oh, guys, again, we appreciate you watching and listening. So remember to give us a follow or subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one, guys. It's Greg and Andy Unleashed.